All right, we are live. Okay, let me check if everything's all right on my end. So, welcome in. This is Jason, and we're having our Ask Me Anything Sunday night show. So, basically, what we do here is, I go live every Sunday night to answer your questions about Facebook advertising. Awesome. Okay, so I just want to quickly check whether the system that I'm using is correct. It's all right because I'm using StreamYard. For the past few rounds of our live sessions and all that, it has been pretty not stable, I would say. So I actually created some of the problems that last round, especially the last week's AMA, it was particularly bad because first of all, the screen was really choppy. And then after that, the sound was really not that good. So is everything okay? Can somebody tell me if you're actually listening all good over there on your end? So yeah, okay. So if this is the first time we see each other, I'm Jason. Whoa, it's thundering out there. It's raining heavily. Okay. I do Facebook advertising and I teach Facebook advertising. I've been helping brands big and small navigating success on Facebook advertising since 2010. So I started teaching since 2016. Hey Chiwai, what's up? What's up? Awesome. Chiwai say all good today. So over the years, I've learned with over 5,000 individuals from all around the world regarding Facebook advertising. So what we do here, this is what we call the AMA Sunday Night Show. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything Sunday Night Show. So as you can see, on this actually kind of like banners at the bottom, it says that if you have any questions at all regarding Facebook advertising, type them in the comment section below. However, if you're watching this in the replay, if you're watching this as the replay, you can also type your comment in the, type your questions in the comment below because I'll pick them up and I'll be answering them in the, in the future AMA sessions. Okay, so while waiting for you to ask your questions and all that, I have a few questions that in a way we actually need to go through whatever we went through, some of the questions that we went through last week because some of them are important questions I wanted to share with you. However, the screen was so bad, the quality and everything was so bad. I have to kind of like cut it and I have to actually bring this back again. So here you go. So like I say, type your questions in the comment section and I will be going over to answer your questions. So while waiting for you to come in, because to be frank, when I'm switching over to this screen, I'm actually looking at on my keynote right now, just to make sure that you know what I'm doing. So I'm going through some of the questions over here. These are the questions that I captured on my Facebook group, as well as my YouTube channel. You see, if you're asking questions, do not expect me to come in and answer a question fast and in a very prompt way, because to be frank, I receive quite a number of comments every day. And not that I don't want to answer a question, and a lot of times I can't just type in. So if you ask any questions, okay, make sure you join the next AMA to actually have your answer. Now, I want to go over one of the questions that I pick up on my YouTube channel. This is from Len Suarez. I'm not sure where you're from. Len, is that correct? Sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, but please correct me if I'm wrong. So, okay, so she says she has a question when it comes to reading the result of your CPass. Shopee and Lazada both offer access, okay, and to their marketing solutions portal, which is the system backend, respectively, on Lazada and Shopee. So sales and revenue example. Okay. So your question is which data? What data should we be looking into? What's more accurate, the data on Facebook dashboard or the data from the MSP, which is the marketing solutions portal? Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, when it comes to this kind of question, how I understand it is that you're asking, should I trust Facebook Ads Manager data or should I trust, what do we call that, the MSP data, which is the Shopee data or Lazada data? I would say both are valid, but one thing you have to remember, when you're running advertisement to drive traffic from Facebook and Instagram to your Shopee or Lazada store, there is one thing that we call the dropout rate, or so-called the friction. You see, then you have to take a look at this as really the journey of how people, so-called in a way, kind of like travel. Once I see your advertisement, I probably need to see your ads maybe 2 to 3 times to realize, then I will choose to click or not. So depending on what kind of advertisement that you're putting up, it could be a carousel, it could be an instant experience, it could be a collection, So when I click, not necessarily I'll be going over to Shopee. I'll be clicking and I probably open up your collection, which is, a combination of your products, to become an instant experience inside the Facebook ads, Facebook app, So I'll be navigating on your products. If I don't see anything that I'm interested, I may not click over to your Shopee store. So the dropout or the friction could happen along the way. So you have to navigate. So basically, this is, in my opinion, if you see about 50% conversion from click to landing page view, that should be something healthy, I would say. Because I was told that, because recently, especially in Malaysia's case, I'm not sure about Philippines and Thailand and all that, but for Malaysia's case, Shopee recently adopted the UTM tracking. When it comes to UTM tracking, there is a lot of issue, because back then, right, when we were running some campaign for our clients, I mean, we still have a few clients, though we don't take new ones anymore. Now, what happened was some people were actually, when we were working with our client, the account manager from Shopee will respond, and somebody actually got about 6 cents per click, 5 cents per click. At that point of time, we realized, I was actually thinking, okay, you have good cost per click. Then what about landing? But what happened now is Shopee is really tracking the landing, and the dropout rate could be as high as 90%, meaning that on Facebook side, you see 100 clicks, but when it comes to your landing page view, you only probably capture about 10% of it. It could be that bad. So you want to actually strike a balance. So along the way, you need to find the best combination, as in like the creative that you are creating, in order to effectively bring people over. So I would say both data, to answer this question from Len, both data are valid. Okay, both data are important to monitor. However, you want to monitor the effectiveness of your advertisement, you need to actually look at the dropout rate. So you want to try to maintain a healthy dropout rate about 50%, which is reasonable. Okay, anything higher than that could be quite bad. All right, thank you for the question. Now let me come back to see if there's anything on the comment. Hey Joyce, this is Joyce. And okay, so remember, if you have any questions at all, type in the comment section so that I'll be able to come in and just jump on your questions over here, right? And yeah, while waiting for you, I will just bring back to the screen. You see, I actually have quite a number of questions to answer over here. Now, second question we have here is from one of my member inside my Facebook group. You either watch this so-called AMA session inside my Facebook ads transformation group or on my YouTube channel. So if you stumble upon this by accident, make sure you either subscribe or join the group to make sure that you'll be notified whenever I go live. And on both platforms, I share daily tips about Facebook advertising. So yeah, you probably want to just join in and just see what this guy has got to talk about, So on today, this is AMA Sunday night, where I will go live for half an hour to answer your question. Now we have this question about CPass again. Okay, for CPass retargeting on add to cart, but not purchase, does it also include existing Shopee store customer which have never clicked via Facebook ads? Or is it purely for traffic coming from Facebook ads? Okay, good question. Now, put it this way. When it comes to retargeting, you see, for those who know me, I have this two-step funnel framework when it comes to running Facebook ads. So regardless what industry you are in, most of the time, we will at least have 2 ads running simultaneously for a campaign. So the tier 1 ad is really to go out to capture the fresh audiences for you. And then once they have taken certain action, we push them out, right? And then from seeing the tier 1 ad, the first ad, and in turn, we will show them the second ad. Now, it's really important to show them the second ad because we want to retarget them. However, a lot of people are kind of confused. Now, when it comes to the second ad, we are actually capturing people who, it depends on what kind of qualification you're looking at, right? So either people who visited your website, for this case, visited your store but did not purchase and all this kind of thing. So your tier 2 campaign is a retargeting campaign. And when it comes to retargeting campaign, it actually retargets all audiences despite where they're coming from. So they could be audiences who sees an ad on Facebook or Google, or probably just come in by, for whatever reason. Everybody will be retargeted by the tier 2 campaign as long as they have a Facebook or Instagram account. So that's my answer. All right, thank you so much for the question, and I hope so. Basically, that's how the whole thing works. So regardless where the audiences come in from, the retargeting ad, which is the tier 2 ad, when you're talking about you want to retarget people who added to cart but not purchase, you target all audiences regardless where they come from. All right, so that's to answer that. Now we have another question here from my YouTube subscriber. I seem to have more questions on my YouTube channel, to be frank. I actually get quite a lot of them. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do so. We are trying to hit about 1,005 as of now, hopefully by end of this month. I mean, today is the end of the month, right? Oh my God, so fast. We're entering February tomorrow. Oh yeah, and tomorrow is my 6-day challenge, my 8th edition of 6-day challenge. So if you want to join and if you have not signed up, you can still sign up, because tomorrow, 3:30 p.m., we're going to roll for 6 days. I teach you live on how I build an effective Facebook ads campaign. So you will be joining 600 over people from all around the world to have learned all these techniques that is proven to have guided tens of millions in Facebook ad spend since 2016. So yeah, join me. Now, this is a question that I really like. So basically, this is a question about how do you share the audiences from one disabled ad account to a new one? Will Facebook disable the new one as well? Now, put it this way. When your ad account is being disabled, nothing can be shared. You can't technically, you can't do anything on that ad account anymore. So a lot of people still email me, text me, message me, especially when you come to me to talk about disabled account. I'm so sorry, I can't help you. The only way that you can do is to really go into the review and all this kind of thing, request for review. One round cannot ask again, still cannot ask again. There are people among my students who got their account back. And there are also people who couldn't get their account back. Fundamentally, you have to go through the process. Even though as a preferred agency, we have an account manager, I can't do anything through my account manager because it's an entirely different department. Okay? The only way to do that, even my account gets disabled from time to time. And my friend Manfred gets, that dude is really something. It's really interesting. My Manfred always gets his account disabled. I have no idea. So it's not about you. It's not about, nobody is actually going against you. So it's just that, it could be the AI doing some funny things, stupid thing and all that. You just have to keep appealing. All right, that's the only thing that you do. So basically, you can't share the audience from the disabled account to a new one. You can't. Okay, because technically you can't do anything with a disabled ad account, as well as ads manager, business manager, everything is alike. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Thank you. Yeah, how's the connection? Chiwai was saying Manfred has a lot about adult ads. Manfred is watching this, Chiwai. Okay, all right. So, okay, I have a question from Vincent. Is it bad to stop ads midway when the initial results are not too favorable? It depends, Vincent. Okay, it's nothing right or wrong when it comes to stopping an ad or pausing an ad. It is your choice, but you have to remember, when your ad is running inside, when a ad is actually going through the learning process, it is totally okay to have some fluctuation in terms of the outcome. Sometimes you get good results, sometimes you get bad ones. So it's just something that you have to endure, because during the learning period, it is really something that Facebook really have to go through to find who are the right people who might take the same action, who might take the action that you want. So it's a process. However, you can, of course, if you don't think it's really doing well, you want to pause it, it's perfectly fine. But if you're talking about having a campaign that has been running for a while and you pause it for longer than 7 days, this is not on the book. I want to bring it up here because a lot of people share the same opinion, and I think it's worth noticing. If you have paused your ad longer than 7 days, it kind of resets the learning period. So you probably want to play within this duration that we're looking at. All right. So okay. So that's a good question. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you so much. And we have one from Shavin. Shavin is an old friend. So in the case of testing our audience, is it better to target new group of audience with an old ads or new or old audience with a new ads? Both way works, Shavin. It depends on what are you trying to achieve. I think both are legit ones, legit approach. There is no right or wrong in this thing. To be frank, I don't have any preference in this, unless you're trying for a specific scenario or whatnot, which I have no idea. But technically, both approach works. Shavin, thank you so much. And Vincent was asking, how long is the ads learning period when it comes to Facebook advertising? Facebook needs to go through 7-day learning period, or either one. Either they need to go through 7 days, or they need to actually gather 50 conversions. So when it comes to conversion, it depends on what kind of objective that you have selected. If you go for traffic, then they need to have maybe 50 people who landed on your website. But if you go for more difficult conversion events like purchase, then you need to have 50 purchase. So you have to optimize for the right one. Okay, sometimes the learning limited, a lot of people kind of find it intimidating. Oh, what the heck is this learning limited, right? Now, when it comes to learning limited, what does it mean is your budget is not able to support the campaign to go through the learning within the period of time that is being designed. So what they are asking you to do is to add in more budget. Okay, that's the only way that you need to, if you want to get rid of this, yellow color exclamation mark triangle in your campaign, which is, it says learning limited, you just have to pump in more budget. But if you don't want to pump in more budget, it's not going to kill your campaign. It's perfectly okay. Okay, sometimes when it comes to our retargeting campaign, like my retargeting campaign, a lot of people tell me, Jason, I keep seeing your advertisement, especially the retargeting ad, right? But I'm only spending about 5 ringgit a day. So when it comes to 5 ringgit a day, definitely it's gonna be learning limited, but that's all I want because my audience are relatively smaller. I don't mind to go through this learning a little bit. So that's what I think. Okay, so if you want to learn all these 2-step funnel framework, I teach this in my 6-day challenge, which the next one is gonna start next tomorrow. Yeah. So if you want to join, you can actually join. Oh, I forgot to type in the link. So just give me a minute to put this in here. So this is the link to join the 6-day challenge. Okay, so if you want to join the 6-day challenge, click on the link and join. It's, we start tomorrow. So it's gonna be fun. All right, thank you for your question, Vincent and Shavin. Now I want to bring it back to the screen. I have a lot of questions coming from YouTube and my Facebook group as well. So that's the last question that we answered. Now the next one here is also coming from inside my Facebook group. So it's also about CPass. Now, for those who don't know what is CPass, it's called collaborative ads on Facebook's term. But this is what Shopee and Lazada is calling it in Malaysia right now. Oh wait, I forgot to bring down Vincent over here. Okay, all right, let me come back to this. So this question is about CPass. All right, so when it comes to CPass, all right, when using CPass, okay, CPass means catalog. CPass means collaborative ads. Fundamentally, what is this all about is when you are selling on marketplaces like Shopee or Lazada, okay, what happened is if you have CPass access, let's say Shopee, right, they are able to create a catalog based on all the products that you have on your Shopee store and share it to your ads manager. So what you can do next is you're able to retarget people who visited your products but did not purchase. So essentially, because this is really something that you can't do if you're driving traffic to your Shopee store and you don't have CPass, because technically, when a person click over to your Shopee store, you lost control. You have no tracking mechanism and whatnot. But when you have CPass, you can do that. So this question is about CPass, right? So let's say when you're using CPass and catalog sales as objective, there's no exclusion audience can be done. So, okay, there is no exclusion. What she means here is that when you're setting up a tier 2 campaign, which is tier 1 is to target the fresh audience and tier 2 is to target people who visited but did not purchase. All right. So I actually did this in the last session, but I don't want to go through that again. Basically, it's very simple. When you're using CPass, for those who have CPass would know that, okay, when you're doing your audience targeting using the catalog objective, inside the audience targeting, there are 2 options. One is to go for people who have engaged with your ad, which is the first option. The other one is to go for the fresh audience. Now, if you're using the people who have engaged with the ad or something, you have the option to go for people who visited and added to cart but did not purchase in the last how many days, but stuffs like that. When you go down to the last option, which is the customized combination, you're able to target people who have purchased, who have done certain thing and have not done certain thing. So that's how you do your inclusion and exclusion further to exclude people who have purchased and whatnot, right? So that's how the whole thing works. Even you want to target people who view but did not add it to cart, it could be done as well. It's inside the custom combination column. All right, that's how it's done. Okay, right. And okay, now I have another question coming from my group member as well. Basically, it says my retargeting doesn't work. Error against Facebook ads policies. Now, put it this way. You see, I really want to talk about this. To be frank, when you have any error, first thing first, I would strongly recommend that you manage your Facebook ads on the, proper computer screen, whether it's a laptop or desktop, because a lot of things are in there and it's not available on your mobile version. So you give me a screenshot like that, what do you expect from me? Now, put it this way. If Facebook disable your ad, they will always tell you why. All right. So they will always tell you why. So if they would, I mean, after you read through, it's inside your ads manager. Don't ask me where to find it. All right. Go into your ad level, look for it. Okay. And they will say what is the reason they are using, they're actually disabling your advertisement. If you don't think this is really the reason that you did not do anything wrong, you can submit for review again. Okay. Now, if you really have done something wrong, then change the ad. That's the only thing to do. Right? For those who are actually new to Facebook advertising, one thing I want you to do here is to Google. There is one thing called Facebook advertising policies. When you Google, type in Facebook advertising policies, there will be a link that says Facebook advertising policies. Click into it. It lists out all the things that you can or can't do. Read that properly. And everything that you do on the Facebook and Instagram platform, you have to follow their rules. And when they say that you're against their policies, then it is. All right? So that is my answer for this thing. Thank you so much for your question. And we have another question from my YouTube follower as well. Obviously, this is using my two-step funnel framework, which is, two-step for Shopee ads. After 2 days of retargeting ads, is still zero amount spent. What can be done? Now, essentially, when it comes to my two-step funnel framework, the tier 1 advertisement is to constantly go out to help you reach fresh audiences. Now, once the person have taken certain action, they will start seeing your tier 2 advertisement. All right, when it comes to tier 2 advertisement, it needs audiences to kick. If you're only qualifying maybe like less than 10 people to come into your tier 2, of course, it can't run. According to what we learn, of course, this is not on the book as well. According to what we learn, you need to have about at least 100 people in your retargeting audience to kick. So if you're only targeting about 50 people, it may not run. All right, so all you need to do in order to let your tier 2 run, first is to either, you have two ways to do this. First, if you are retargeting people who added to cart, for example, then you want to reduce the action. You want to probably just retarget people who landed on your website, because out of 100 people who landed on your website, maybe just 10 added to cart. So when you're going for added to cart, which is a very difficult action, then you definitely have lesser people, hence it cannot run. So that's the first thing you can do. Second thing you can do here is to lengthen the retargeting duration. So for example, if you're retargeting people who added to cart in the last 3 days, then that's probably like a 3-person audience. You get what I mean? So when you lengthen it, make it like 7 days or 10 days, then you have the opportunity to gather more people inside this audience. Hopefully it will run. So the only reason for this scenario to happen, for your tier 2 not running, is definitely because of your audience size is too small. So you either lengthen your duration or loosen up your retargeting criteria. That's what you do. All right, but thanks for the question. I want to come back to this because I see some questions coming in on the chat. I have about 7 more minutes to go. I got to cut this because I got to keep my voice for tomorrow. It's exciting. Now, we have one from YJ. You're running traffic campaign, but you put WhatsApp link in your post and let the audience click the link and send me to WhatsApp, correct? You check out the ad gets result on the ad manager. I received 25 outbound clicks, but I didn't receive any WhatsApp message. It's not technical glitch, if you ask me, because like I said, this is friction. It depends on the experience that you're looking at. When you click on the advertisement, you just have to experience the advertisement yourself, all right? You click on the advertisement that drives people to the WhatsApp conversation, right? But however, when you click on the advertisement, the next thing happens is really to open up a window in your browser, and the browser will say that, do you want to send this message to this number? So out of 25, 0 click this, meaning it could be a few reasons. You just have to probably look into what are the possible ones. Okay, first, maybe your message is too kind of like strict, and then you kind of like oversell. See over here, you say that maybe your message that you preset over there says that, oh, I love this product, I want to buy this. I mean, I don't want to buy this, I just want to find out. You probably want to change that. Second reason could be because you're really targeting the wrong audience because they click. It could be because of the advertisement, you got them to click. But when they come to the realization that, oh shit, this is what I needed to do, and then they chicken out. It could be because of that. So you have to work on a few angles. It's either the advertisement that is attracting the wrong audience, or in another way, the friction that is causing that. So if this is not working, it could be also because your audiences that you're targeting are not into this kind of, conversation method. So you probably want to change another way to actually generate leads. It could be that way. Okay, so that's a very good question. Thank you so much. Now, I want to bring this banner off already. Continue to type of questions. I will see what I can do. But okay, let me bring back to this. I think I have another few more, but let's see how much I can go through over here. So, okay, this is from I cannot read Japanese, but I definitely remember this Dindo. I think one of my past 6DC student. For e-commerce, is there a dollar amount per unit where you should go straight to a conversion objective? Say my item costs 10 USD each. Should I be running purely conversion campaign? Put it this way. I talk about this in my 6-day challenge. You probably want to recall what you have learned. Now, essentially, when it comes to conversion objective, all right, when it comes to conversion objective, it is really a conversion to you could be purchased, but conversion to Facebook could be, purchase, or it could be initial checkout, it could be add to cart, it could be even landing on your website. So you want to go for a conversion. You don't go for, this is not how we look at it. This is not about the amount. It's about how much, how many conversion we get, and then we should choose which one to go for. Let's say if you go for conversion, if you want to go for purchase conversion, my first question to you here is, do you have 25 purchase in the last 7 days? If you don't, then you move a level up to see whether do you have 25 initiated checkout in the last 7 days. If you still don't have it, then we will go for added to cart and so on and so forth. You keep moving the level up until you find a conversion event that works. Now, then the next question here is that, when it comes to how much you want to spend in order to get per purchase, I think that pretty much depends on, what is the so-called the campaign combination coming up. Because you see, put it this way, before we start a campaign, we have no clue. A lot of people ask me, Jason, how much should I spend and all this kind of thing? I have no idea because I do not know what you sell. But here's how I try. Here's how I test. I will start with a minimal amount. All right, maybe I start with maybe just $10 a day or $5 a day, which is fine. Start small is perfect. I even say that $1 is good enough because that's the minimum that you need to spend. All right, so $1 a day even, all right? You start going in first. You start going in and you start getting some clicks into your website, and then you start getting, probably you will get some conversion, probably not. Doesn't matter. You want to learn. All right. So maybe after you spend about $50, you get one conversion. Then up to now, your cost per conversion is $50. So if you're talking about your item cost is $10, then you're losing money. In that case, then we need to look into, okay, what are the things that we need to tweak? If you don't have any data on hand, how do I optimize? If you agree with me. All right. So that's what I think. Okay, now come back to this. I have another question. So this is from Gopal. I run a traffic campaign for my blog and I'm using lookalike audience. I'm getting a high CPM. Can you please give me some tips to reduce CPM for lookalike? Now, in order to reduce your CPM, okay, for those who are new to Facebook ads, CPM stands for cost per 1,000 impression, meaning that how much you are paying to reach your audience 1,000 times. It's by block 1,000. Now, it depends on what kind of audience. Basically, the easier way to look at this is very simple. The more niche your audience is, as in like smaller audience size, the CPM usually is higher. So the easiest way to reduce your CPM for your lookalike is to either, if you're targeting 1%, then make it 5%. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing is if you're talking about your high CPM and your conversion is bad, then probably your lookalike is bad. So the other way to look at this is to really improve the whole overall thing in terms of reducing CPM for your lookalike is to increase the quality of your lookalike. Now, you have to always remember, we don't simply create lookalike. Like for example, I wouldn't create lookalike based on people who like my Facebook page. I wouldn't care, but I would create lookalike based on people who visited my website, purchase on my website, because that's a higher quality lookalike. So you want to go for higher quality lookalike. And then when you want to you go for higher quality lookalike, you need to make sure that you have at least 1,000 audiences inside the seed audience. Then you create a lookalike based on that. It's a little bit complex. I won't be able to answer this in like 3 to 4 minutes kind of thing. If you want to learn more about your audiences, what are the differences between custom audiences, core audiences, and lookalike audiences, you got to join my 6-day challenge. On day 4, I spent about an hour plus to really go through in great detail to give you how to create this, what you can do with this. It's definitely something that you need to learn. But okay, so that's for this Gopal's question. Okay, now I don't see any question coming on. Let me see. On the comment side, I don't have. I have about another minute or so. So I think I'll just go through a little bit since we're on the roll, right? Okay, now that's that. And basically, another question here. Jason, can you please describe how to set up or construct prospective customers in CPass? Okay, how I understand this is you want to set up a CPass campaign, meaning that you have CPass. If you don't have CPass, you don't talk to me. You got to have CPass. Now, once you have CPass, then you want to set up, meaning that you want to set up a campaign to target fresh audiences using your CPass, which is your catalog ads objective, right? I won't be able to go through this. I think the easiest way is you go in, okay, inside your ads manager, under the ad set settings, okay, you can actually go in and the first default option is to retarget, which is to target people who have engaged, right? But there is another one, which is to find prospective audiences. Under the audience targeting inside the ad set level, you'll be able to see find prospective customers. Using that, then you'll be able to just go out and target and construct whatever thing that you want based on your gender, age group, location, detailed targeting settings and all that. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, but if you want to have a greater detail, as in like you want me to walk you through how to do all these things, consider signing up to my Facebook ads for Shopee class. It's a class that has been learned by over 500 to 600 people from all around the region over here. And we have very high approval rate, to be frank. We have students from all around Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and all that. And they like it. And it's proven working. So you probably want to go through that, all right? But thanks for the question, Kwang. And okay, I have one question coming from Ishwalisa. Okay, it says the brand started on Shopee mid last year. You have limited budget, fine. How do I find your conversion window? I would like to apply the funnel ad strategy, but I'm not sure I should run my tier 1 CPass or normal traffic ad. UTM tag link ads, okay? You notice that only able to target by gender. What do you mean? You only are able to target by gender and all this. Okay, traffic ad. No, you can actually do more things. I think you probably need to go through my 6-day challenge to learn how to find the target audiences and all that. Yeah, so if you want to run, basically the reason, I think there are a lot of questions over here, but let's take a look at this. The reason why you want to use CPass is because you're able to drive the audiences to your store using a different format if you're targeting tier 1. Now the tier 2, for benefit for tier 2 would be you're able to retarget people with the right intent, meaning that you will definitely know that you'll be targeting people who added to cart or visited your product but did not purchase. So that gives you a different kind of leverage to actually zoom into your audiences to the people who are more likely to take action. So I would say, if you ask me, you definitely want to go for CPass if you want to actually, if you have CPass. But essentially, when it comes to CPass also, there are different combination of strategies when it comes to using CPass. Like the other day, I was having a discussion with Alex, which is my student in Thailand. You know what Alex is doing is tier 1, he's going for traffic, meaning that he wants to build traffic. And then he built a catalog using the product, because in Thailand they have affiliate commission. Even though you're driving sales for your own product, you will still earn affiliate commission. Awesome. So he does that, and then tier 2 he used a catalog. But in Malaysia, what we realize here is that when you actually go for traffic tier 1, you might get good clicks on the surface, but maybe you have bigger friction, as in like the gap of people who landed on your product may be low. And you won't be able to really effectively track how many people who really landed. So using CPass could give you a different set of data. But I guess it's entirely up to you on how you want to play around with the combination over here. So yeah, you got to test it. You got to test it. I won't be able to give you an answer based on whatever you're actually mentioning. And I think these are all valid combinations of strategies. You just have to test it and find the right combination for yourself. Okay, thank you for the question. And we have another one from James. James says, if the customer go to my store on Shopee directly without seeing your ad, and then they explore the product but did not purchase, after that they come back to Facebook. From this scenario, will CPass retargeting campaign work? Yes. I actually answered this question earlier, but yes. Fundamentally, your CPass retargeting, essentially the retargeting part, is actually retargeting people who visited your store or the product, regardless where they come from. So that's the beauty of CPass. Basically, what CPass is really doing here is that, because Shopee will actually create the product catalog based on your product on your store, and share it to your ads manager. So essentially, you're able to do something that people can't do, which is to really follow those people with the right intent. So when you're able to do this, the benefit is definitely huge if you know how to do it right. But one thing I want to really warn you is you need to learn what is the optimum duration you want to retarget these people for, and how strict you want to do your retargeting, and how do you want to create your retargeting ads. Like for example, if you have a lot of products, especially a lot of categories, you probably don't want to do a store-wide retargeting. You probably want to do category-wise retargeting. So in this case, right, you probably have dress, accessories, and all that. You want to create one ad set for retargeting based on different category. That could be another valid strategy, but you need to explore yourself. All right, you need to actually understand the fundamental of the whole strategy and deploy it on your own campaign over there, and you got to keep testing it to find the best combination. Okay, so that's what I have. And last, this is the video where I talk about $1 is the minimum you need to start advertising on Facebook. To be frank, what it says, you don't think $1 would be enough though, but in my opinion, this is what I don't teach people. I don't tell people that you need to start with $50, $100, and the more you spend, the better result you get. And technically, to a certain extent, the more you spend, the faster it goes through the learning phase, but it's not guaranteeing you the result. That's why I always like to tell people the easiest way, the best way to learn Facebook advertising is to start doing it. And you start doing it, you start with a budget that you are comfortable with. A lot of people don't start because they're afraid that, hey, I heard people say you need to start with $100. And I heard people say you need to start with, like for example, $50, $100, $200, and all that nonsense. If $1 is not enough, why is Facebook allowing it to be a minimum $1? If you agree with me. So when it comes to that case, I would say you just have to start somewhere with the budget that you're comfortable with, and go along. Just observe the outcome, the budget that you're spending, what is the ROI that you're getting. Then we adjust accordingly. So if you spend $1 and you get $5 a day, in revenue, then the next question to ask is definitely how much you want to make, if you agree with me. But you got to start somewhere. That's what I really, really emphasize on. Okay, and then we have, this is the last question that I'll go through today. We have from Intan. Okay, if you're, this is from Intan. It says, if new launching skincare products, if I use video views as objective for tier 1, how about tier 2? Any suggestion? Okay. Now, Intan, my suggestion here is this. Tier 1 and tier 2, it doesn't really matter. But you always have to ask yourself, what is the next action that you need to get? Like, for example, if you go for video view, then essentially you'll be actually sending your ads to people who are more likely to finish viewing up to 15 seconds. And essentially, people who view video may not be people who will click. You got to really ask yourself, what do you want to get? You see, at the end of the day, for every single advertisers, the ultimate goal that you want to capture is definitely purchase, which is to become a customer. However, people don't become a customer by looking at your ad. They need to go through a series of actions. So what is the next action? Like, give you an example, this is what we call the action funnel, right? For e-commerce, it's very simple. When I see your ad, if I like your product or whatnot, I'll click. I will land on your website. And if I really like it, I'll add to cart. And if I really like it, I'll initiate checkout and purchase. How many steps you can imagine, right? But everything starts with what? Not video view, not engagement, but traffic, meaning that you want people to click to your website first. So that's my answer to you. Okay, regardless tier 1 or tier 2, you got to really find what is the next best action that you want to capture with your Facebook ads campaign among your audiences, ultimately before they become a customer. So if it's traffic, if you want people to go to the website, then traffic. If you want people to give them your phone number and all that so that you can contact them, then it's lead generation. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend to go for video view or reach or brand awareness, because these are all non-action based objective. You want to go for action based objective. I go through that in my 6-day challenge, but in time you went through that, you probably want to revisit the so-called the replay. I remember you are my VIP. To talk about this on the day 2, where I talk about the objectives. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your question. And yeah, I think that's all we have for today. Wow, not too bad, huh? I can actually cover this in just like less than under 40 minutes time. Okay, so yeah, if you want to sign up for the 6-day challenge, we start tomorrow sharp at 3:30 p.m. But we already started our pre-challenge training since last Thursday. In the past Thursday. So it's fun. So come over and join me, where you learn with me for 6 days straight, as in like how do we actually build an effective Facebook ads campaign. Chiwai, okay, I give you a minute, come. What is the last over here? What is that? What time does it start for all 6 DCs? Every day, 3:30 p.m. GY. Okay, what time does it start for all 6 DCs? Now, 6-day challenge, it's called 6-day challenge. Reason being here is that we learn together for 6 days straight, Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Malaysia time, 3:30 p.m. Don't ask me why 3:30, because I like it. You know, that's the time that I feel I'm more relaxed, and I feel like, you know, that's really where I get into the state of teaching. Okay, all right. So that's, yeah, thank you so much for the question, TY. And thank you so much for those who are tuning in, whether you're watching this on, you know, Facebook group or YouTube channel. And if you like what we are doing, remember to hit the subscribe and all that. If you see any questions that is going to help your friends and all that, share this to your friend. Share this to your friend and all that. And basically, yeah, it's all good. By the way, Chiwa is saying coordination, time coordination and all that. Don't worry about that, bro. Because every day we will teach live at 3:30 p.m. But we will keep the so-called the replay available inside the Facebook group, which you can still come back at night or whatnot to replay and all that. Okay, and okay, we have this coming from Dindo and saying you have a link to your CPass training. Hang on, let me try to find that. Facebook ads. Okay, I think I have it here. It's not CPass training. It's more like, you know, it's a course for Facebook ads for Shopee. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in. Facebook ads for shop. Oh wait. Sorry, I put the wrong one. Give me a minute. Let me do that again. Okay. Sorry, that's the 6-day challenge, but let me bring you into the Shopee one. Okay. Is that correct? Okay, this is the correct one. Facebook ads for Shopee. Essentially, I talk about how do you build an effective Facebook ads for your Shopee campaign. But fundamentally, it also covers Lazada as well if you're selling on Lazada. So this is the link. I've already put it in over there. And inside there, I teach about how do you use CPass, what are the combinations that you can use and all that. So you probably want to consider doing that. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Prepare your questions. Actually, not necessarily. Whenever you have any questions, right, post them on my, you know, Facebook group or my YouTube channel. Anywhere, I'll you know, my team will pick them up and we will actually feature that in the next AMA session. So if you're actually having any questions that you want me to actually go over, you know, type into the comment sections below. All right, so that's all I have today. Enjoy this. Thank you so much. I will see you next week, same time, 10 p.m. Thank you. Have a good weekend. You know, tomorrow is where we're going to start 6-day challenge. Exciting. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.